Today's top news headlines. Sea of BJP supporters throng Imphal airport to cheer JP Nada. Manipur registers 147 new COVID-19 cases, 0 deaths. And Cycle Rally marks World Palliative Care Day 2021 in Imphal. Good evening and welcome to Pony Television English News at 6:30. Before we move on to the news, a COVID awareness for the general public. We are collectively facing a pandemic threat that is sweeping across the humanity beyond oceans and borders. Considering the seriousness of COVID-19, it's about time we step up against this deadly disease. Maintain a safe distance from others, even if they don't appear to be sick. Wear a mask in public, especially indoors, or when physical distancing is not possible. Choose open, well-ventilated spaces over closed ones. Clean your hands often. Use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand rub. Get vaccinated when it's your turn. Follow local guidelines about vaccination. Cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Stay home if you feel unwell. This is Loving Your Mind giving you the latest news update. National BJP President JP Nada today arrived in Imphal in a 2-day visit to Manipur. Arrived at Beauty Kendrejit Airport at 1:50 p.m., a sea of BJP supporters thronged the airport to welcome and cheer Nada. Manipur Chief Minister and Biren Singh, State BJP President A. Sarda Devi, General Secretary P. Premananda Mite, Works Minister T.H. Bishwajit, Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Dr. R.K. Ranjan, former Deputy Speaker Preshor Shimre, former MLAs Govindas Konthaujam and M. Prithviraj were also present at the airport to accord a warm welcome to Nada. The National BJP President Nada's visit to Manipur comes amid growing discontent among BJP MLAs against incumbent Chief Minister Biren Singh, sources informed. There are resentment among tribal legislators and demands from BJP allies for more portfolios in the state cabinet. MLAs of BJP's ally, the NPP National People's Party, seem to be unhappy with the unilateral functioning of Chief Minister Biren Singh. Manipur is among the 6 BJP-ruled candidates that will go to assembly elections next year. Nada, during his course of stay in Manipur, is likely to meet and hold discussions with all MLAs of the BJP-led coalition government in the state. The BJP National President will also take stock of the Saffron Party's preparation for the upcoming assembly elections. On October 2, Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh was in Delhi, where he called on BJP National President JP Nada and discussed about several importance of the party and the state.
Thank you. Everyone please clap for the home of the community. After this, a bouquet presentation of our lotus, indigenous lotus, Manipuri. This grows in this season and it's very our. Before we start the program, I would like to give a brief.
Manipur in the last 24 hours registered 147 new infections of coronavirus and 0 fatalities. The new cases were detected from a total sample of 2,229, according to an official release from Manipur COVID-19 Command Control Room. It said the positivity rate was 6.6%. It added that 30 people were recuperated from the disease in the past 24 hours. Manipur's total caseload now stands at 121,853, while the death toll has climbed to 1,882. A cycle rally was organized to mark the World Palliative Care Day 2021, held on the theme Leave No One Behind, Equity in Access to Palliative Care. The cycle rally was organized by Palliative Care Society, Imphal, in association with Mamba. The cycle rally, flagged off by Manipur Health Director Dr. K. Raju, flagged off from Kangla Gate, culminated at IMA House, Lamphel. During the program, Dr. K. Raju highlighted on the benefit of palliative care service available at health and wellness centers under the Manipur government. He further said Palliative Care Society is giving house-to-house treatment and medical care to cancer, paralyzed and mental patients. He urged the people to seize the opportunity.
The palliative care service is Manipur Jaga khuding da Pithibi mapam khuding su palliative care service anova khoigi health care service amani masina yakhoigi ana so haijakre yakhoigi life se yakhoina bed ridden oiba sirani haina khalaba patient sing je yakhoina khoina service khar piduna yakhoi nungai ba pusi ama life ama moide pibiraga nungai na pusi do Later, Sijagragasu, Yanunga Punsi, Marian, Pin and Dugumba, Service Amani, Masida, Yakoy Yum Lajaragasu, Yakoy Timbamlay, Timsina, Palliative Kiagi, Timsina, Yum the Salaga, Service talks about Dugumba, Posamani.
One Potsangbam Nancy, aged 32 years, wife of Roman, aged 42 years, of Nagampal, Gangjabi Machin in Imphal West, has claimed that her husband and his family have barred her from living in her husband's house since January this year after she has gone bankrupt. She ran a Sri Balaji Finance and a Sri Balaji Enterprises after taking permission from her husband's family, following which she has turned penniless, Nancy told journalists at Manipur Press Club, Imphal. She narrated that since the last 10 months, her husband's family has not allowed her to live in her husband's house. Her husband has also recently asked her for a divorce. She has been staying at Swadar Rehabilitation Center located at Haba Marak Jingtam Legai in Imphal West, Nancy said.
Ina luhongakpa nauringaidagi hauna aigi imung manung haitare nupa mayum sina moigi ayaba yauraga moiga tanaraga aise marup macha hauzaki aduda aigi nupana magi saiti mamanaba sing mana khomi aigi saite aina khombasu lei pullaga aiga maga punna tawminabani aduga haujikna khudong thiba paisa nung sagi kitang putharak pasaisida mana magi thabak ingkhang dasu moigi imung chaukhatnaba aigi saite su aibusu paisa talhalaga pumna makse mawonda thada khraga haujikna paisa puthara kandadi ainang khangde kaino tawde na haujiksi aibuna aiga ijaga simana maphamamda.
New executive members of Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity, COCOMI, were elected at the office of United Committee Manipur, UCM, located at Lamphel in Imphal yesterday. COCOMI is a conglomerate of major Manipur civil society groups which was set up in 2019. COCOMI says it will always protect the integrity of Manipur and appeal to all the people to stand and fight together against any attempt to split the state. Punsigi Lamai Amada, a short story authored by Tikandrajit Akwejam, was released during a function at Manipur Press Club, Imphal today. The book release function was organized by SB Enterprises and Oja Bijoy Bookstore, Taubal Keitel. Manipur Language Advisory Board, Sahitya Academy convener Nomaitem Kiran Kumar Singh was the chief guest of the program.
I kapuna dia executive ai dia to hoga ai adu matham kuda jagi bani adu mari mata teresi I manu ka manga dia no no ni jabani adu ka hawra junction ke saru palanga dia ai na hanadi ikre adu script di mang mo kre script mang di bani na amsu ni chen adu ai na hanagi executive do amsu ni chen adu ani dunga manga si kapuna teresi hai ba tha manga si manu gai executive bani.
With regard to the issue surrounding the new office bearers of the Maram Union and its General Body Assembly meeting held on September 30, 2021, 20 Maram village authorities have declared on Friday that the selection of office bearers is null and void. A press release from the 20 signatory village authorities of Maram community alleged that since the Election Commission of Maram Union has not issued nomination papers, no filing of nominations, no scrutiny, no withdrawal, and no election were held. The 20 village authorities further alleged that in the General Body meeting called by the interim speaker on September 30, 2021, some names of the office bearers proposed by a group of elders were declared by the Chief Election Commissioner, and the speaker immediately dissolved the House. The 20 village authorities then said, as the election of Maram Union has not been conducted, the proposed office bearers declared by the Chief Election Commissioner are not valid and that they are null and void. On the 45th Raising Day of the Red Army of People's Revolutionary Party of Kangleipak Progressive, or PRIPAG Pro, the outfit's chairman, El Paliba M, today saluted and paid tribute to all the martyrs who had sacrificed their lives in the courses of liberation movements. He also expressed his deepest sympathy to those families who have lost their loved ones during the pandemic and some of his views and thinking on this auspicious day. In a press statement, El Paliba M said the coronavirus is wreaking havoc on every aspect of our life, but amidst this pandemic, some people are trying to unscrupulously exploit and dismantle the Konglei society by indulging in the dreadful narcotics trade. Most of these persons are genealogically devoid of our motherland's blood. They are the real enemies of the society, as their minds are tainted with fiendishness. While India is dragging on the demonetization process, GST Make in India initiative, the neighbor Bangladesh has been economically advancing than India. 25 million jobs were lost during January-May 2021. It is also a gloomy prospect that a generation might be wiped out by this pandemic. On the contrary, the world's largest political party, BJP, with 180 million memberships and its vast keyboard warriors have been trying to propagate Prime Minister Modi as divine status. They falsely propagated that UNESCO had declared Modi as world's best leader, and they also fantasized boastfully that 450 years ago, the prophet Nostradamus had predicted that Modi era would be a golden age not only for India but the whole world. Apart from that, the cult of Modi is so formidable that coronavirus vaccine certificates and outgoing email of NHRC both bear the image of Prime Minister. The poor peasants, workers, and indigenous people of moist-prone 10 states wanted a socialist program of equal distribution, and they don't want the natural resources to be managed by wealthy people and big companies. But the government of India doesn't take seriously these hitherto known demands, let alone the solution of insurgency. There would be no holistic solution of political conflicts if there is a rigid mindset to keep everything inside the wall of the Constitution of India, the press statement added. Let's take a short break. Stay tuned for more updates.
Occasion singidamagta makhal kiyagi cake, haibadi photo cake, layer cake, brunch cake, barbie cake, fruit topping cake, cupcakes in a chingba fongbigani, amadi adomgi apamba moongda cake customized tawbagi khudongchaba su pisari. Khudongchaba sing asi lawbinabagi damakta lengsing birau aikhoigi address NG College Road near Naurangtong. Phone number 9864112972. Aikhoigi online partner Food Wi-Fi amasung Food Web tagisu order tawiba yagani.
Nagaland's Agriculture Production Commissioner and Mission Director Y. Kikato Sema, along with a team of officers of the Focus Nagaland Fostering Climate-Resilient Farming Systems in the Northeast Nagaland project, held a joint meeting with the officials of FAO India Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, led by the country representative Tomyo Shichuri at Nagaland House, Dr. Abdul Kalam Road in New Delhi yesterday. According to a DIPR report, Waikiketo Sema thanked the FAO officials for supporting the Focus Nagaland project in the state, putting emphasis on the importance of learning about new and innovative farming technologies for agriculture growth in the state. He appealed to the FAO to organize exposure visits of both the officers and farmers to different parts of the state, regions of the country, and if possible, even in other countries having similar agro-climatic conditions and farming practices. The FAO is a partner organization in the Focus project and is providing various training and hand-holding support to key interventions planned under the project. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday held bilateral talks with Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, who is on her first visit to the country. The talks held at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi focused on strengthening the international system based on rules and prioritizing growth and trade in a clean and environmentally friendly way. Prime Minister Frederiksen arrived in New Delhi early this morning and is scheduled to stay in the national capital for another 3 days. She was received at the airport by Prime Minister Modi. In a press conference held following the talks, Frederiksen highlighted that the cooperation between the two nations is a great example of how green growth and green transition can go hand in hand. In the meeting, the two prime ministers reviewed the progress in the implementation of this Green Strategic Partnership. The Green Partnership, finalized at the virtual summit last year, aims to create a framework for significant expansion of cooperation in areas of renewable energy, environment, economy, science and technology, and climate change. Bahujan Samaj Party Chief Mayawati on Saturday said she will write to the Election Commission demanding surveys by media organizations and other agencies be banned 6 months before any elections so that the polls in the particular state are not influenced by it. Addressing the 15th death anniversary of BSP founder Ghanshiram here at the Ghanshiram Smarak stall, Mayawati demanded that Bharat Ratna be given to the late Dalit leader and added that people in Uttar Pradesh have made up their mind on changing power in the state. Soon a letter will be written to the Election Commission that surveys in the garb of business by media organizations and other agencies be banned 6 months before the elections so that the polls in the particular state are not influenced, she said. You know that when the assembly elections in West Bengal were going on, surveys were showing that Mamata Banerjee was trailing, but when the results came, it was the opposite. Those who were dreaming of gaining power, their dreams were shattered, and Mamata staged a comeback with a huge majority. Hence, you should not be misled by these surveys, the BSP chief told the public. Before we end the bulletin, the top news headlines once again. Sea of BJP supporters thronged Imphal airport to cheer JP Nadda. Manipur registers 147 new COVID-19 cases, 0 deaths. And Cycle Rally marks World Palliative Care Day 2021 in Imphal. That is the end of the bulletin. For the English news at 6:30, stay tuned to Pony Television for more updates.